Okay. Well, again, with more of questions, what is given here is resolve a force of 100 newtons into two equal forces acting at an angle of 60 degrees on either side of 100 newtons. So, we have got a 100 Newton force and we have to resolve, and already we have studied resolving means dividing, and one force is making an angle of 60 degrees. The second force is also making an angle of 60 degrees, but on the other side, and all this information is given in the question itself. You can see angle of 60 degrees on either side of 100 newtons. So we will have to find out what will be the resolving of this 100 Newton force. Because both angles are equal, so it goes without saying that both the forces also have got to be equal. So this Q will be equal to therefore P. And when both the forces are P, then we know, already we have studied the derivation for that is 2P into cos of alpha by 2 is equal to the resultant. So from that what we have here is, for the first question, that 2 into both are equal to P because the angles are equal. See, single force, when it is divided into equal angles on either side, the forces have got to be. Otherwise, what you can do is use many equations that are there for it. R square is equal to P square plus. Otherwise, we have got P sine alpha from the resolution of forces. P sine alpha is equal to resultant into sine of the opposite angle divided by the sine of the total angle. So like that, there are many methods by way of which you can prove that when there are two forces, they have got to be equal when they are making equal angles from the resultant on either side. So we have got the formula which we have already derived is 2 into one of the forces, this or that, into cos of alpha by 2, where alpha is the total angle between the forces. We have studied that. So half of that angle, total angle is 60 plus 60, 120. Of course, goes without saying that half of 120 is also going to be 60. So put alpha equal to 120. So 120 by 2 will be 60. 2p cos alpha by 2 is equal to the resultant. So from this, what we get is 2p into cos of alpha is 120 by 2 is equal to r, or we will get 2p into cos 60 is equal to r, which is equal to 100 newtons. And then what we have now is cos 60 is half, 1 by 2 multiplied 2 cancels, straight away you will get, therefore P also is equal to 100 newtons. Okay. Now, the surprising thing is that the resultant is 100 and the two forces are also each equal to 100. It is possible, we have studied that already, remember, that in one question of the two vectors, one was 2p and the other one was also equal to 2p. Like that, there were many different types of choices, and in that we also have to find out that which is that choice whose resultant is not equal to 2p. There we have seen in one choice, one force was 2p, second force was 2p, resultant also was 2p. When we have proved it, then why not? So here the individual force also will be equal to 100 Newton itself, which is the resultant. Okay. So we now have got the next question, which is resolve a force of 50 newtons into two components. Meaning a force is divided into two forces, making angle 60 and 45 degrees with it on opposite sides. So we have got a force of 50 newtons we have to resolve, means divide it into two components, making angle 60 and 45. So show that here. We have got a force, and that force is equal to 50 newtons. We have to divide it into two. One force, let us say, is equal to Q, and the other force is equal to P. On one force is making an angle of 60 degrees from the single force, while the other one is making an angle of 45 degrees. There is nothing much to be said here, because this also has been seen under resolution of forces. Then what are the values of the two forces is found directly. The magnitude of one of the force is given by Q is equal to, remember, the resultant 50 into sine of the opposite angle for Q. For Q, the opposite angle is 60, so it will be sine 60. Dividing it by sine of 60 plus 45. There are two ways by which this part, sine 60 plus 45, can be solved. One is sine A plus B is equal to sine A cos B plus cos A sin B. Otherwise, add both 60 and 45, so the total angle will be 105. Then what is sine 105? You can also make it as 90 plus 15. Sine 90 plus 15, for 90, you will get the other function returned, so it will be cos, and 90 plus 15 will therefore become cos 15. Sine 90 plus 15 is in the second quadrant, so the first quadrant 90 degrees, another 15 degrees. So the second force will be somewhere here. Therefore, you can take it as sine 90 plus 15 second quadrant, sine is positive, and sine 90 plus 15 will be therefore plus. For 90, other function will be returned, so it is going to be plus cos 15. Cos 15, well, you have to remember the values. The direct value is, if you can't remember, then remember the exact value. See, sine 15 is root 3 plus 1 by 2 root 2. Cos 15 is, sine 15 is root 3 minus 1 by 2 root 2, and cos 15 is root 3 plus 1 by 2 root 2. Okay, leave out all that. We can also simplify it directly for getting the result. We will see it separately. What we need to do is sine 60 plus 45 is equal to sine 60 cos 45 plus cos 60 sine 45. So this will be equal to sine 60 is root 3 by 2, cos 45 is 1 by root 2 plus cos 60 is 1 by 2, sine 45 is 1 by root 2. So this is what I have already told you, root 3 plus 1 divided by 2 root 2, which is common in the denominator, is what you will get for sine 60 plus 45, which is also 98 plus 15. Okay. Then you need to simplify this either root 3 by 2, or you can write it as root 3 plus root 3 is 1.73 plus 1 is totally 2.73 and divided by 2 root 2. Root 2 is 1.414 multiplied by 2, 2.8 is what you will get. So simplifying this, you will get it very close to 0.98. So that is the value of sine 60 plus 45. And when you find the value of Q, it will be then Q is equal to 50 into sine 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. Then dividing it by sine 60 plus 45, which is equal to root 3 plus 1 by 2 root 2. Otherwise, put this value, makes no difference. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So, we will get equal to root 6 divided by 2.73. You can leave the answer like this. Well, depending upon how the choice is given, accordingly we will also select the choice correctly. Okay. So for the third question given here, you have got three forces acting on a particle and that keeps the particle in equilibrium. Equilibrium means rest. So there will be no more. That is, all the forces acting on the body will get cancelled out. Then two forces, of course, it is quite easy. What about the third force which will keep the body at rest? To understand that, let us first try to know one concept. If a force of 5 Newton is acting on a body, this will keep on moving the body. But to avoid that motion, we have to apply an equal and opposite force. So, this equal and opposite forces will pull in opposite direction, will pull the body in opposite direction, so the body won't move from that point. So, if there is one force to bring equilibrium, the other force must be equal and also in the opposite direction. So, now here we have got the question where it is given that three forces are acting on a particle. The angle between the first and the second is 90 degrees. So, the first force and the second force is 90 degrees. If one force is P, the other force is Q, and they are the first and the second force, angle between them is given to be equal to 90 degrees. Well, the concept that is to be understood here is that the resultant of these two forces, because both are acting outwards from this point, will be in between the two forces. Acting outwards, resultant will be in between. Remember the parallelogram law. So there we get it. Resultant will be in between. So if this is the resultant, what is the meaning of the resultant? That if you bring the resultant, it will also produce the same effect like the two forces put up together. Because the resultant is producing the same effect, therefore you can remove the two forces, bring the resultant. That is the meaning of the resultant. So resultant is a single force which will produce the same effect like the other forces together put up. So if you remove these forces and bring a single force, the resultant, then resultant will produce the same effect in magnitude and direction. So then what happens is two forces gone, a single force will be there. And for a single force to produce equilibrium, the other force should be equal to it and also in opposite direction. So for this, the other force should be equal to it. And also in the exactly opposite direction. Now equilibrium will be maintained. Okay. So opposite of the resultant which is producing the equilibrium, because it is neutralizing the single force acting now the resultant. So for that, you try to show either the parallelogram or the triangle law obtained from the action of the forces P, Q and S. Please note that the forces should be in order. So this is one force P, and then we have got the second force Q. So note that I am showing the same thing but in a differently arranged manner. Q, same length I am showing here. P, the same length I am showing here. Note the direction, both are same. Both are same. Then, what about the third force? Starting from the tail of one force to the head of the other force, then that will be equal to the resultant. And we know that like this, when a triangle is formed, then sine rule can be applied here. And for equilibrium, there is a force which is equal and opposite to the resultant. So equal to the resultant means this length, but in the opposite direction, that will be the third force. So when you remove the resultant, bring the third force, equal and opposite, then resultant will move the body in one direction, the opposing force, same length, will move the body in the opposite direction, both will get cancelled, equilibrium will be there. So resultant and S, they are equal and opposite. Otherwise, remove the resultant, bring the two forces. Meaning is 1, 2 and this third force. These two are equal to resultant, opposite of that S will cancel it, and the resultant is equal to P and Q. So remove the resultant, bring P and Q, that also should cancel S. It means that P, Q, S, all the three forces representing the triangle which is in order, which is in a continuous manner, will keep the body in equilibrium. So, this is one of the conditions of equilibrium. We will see more about equilibrium at a later on. Let me repeat this and go to the question back again. When you take two forces in order, then the resultant will be joining the tail of the first force to the head of the second force. That's the resultant. Meaning is, remove the two forces, bring the resultant, the effect will be the same. Only one force will be there. Equal and opposite to that force, which is given as S here, will cancel out the resultant, and so there will be no motion. And resultant, it is equal to P and Q. This is cancelling out resultant, means P and Q can be cancelled by S. Meaning is, not two forces taken in order. In a triangle, when the three forces are in order, triangle is completed. We don't have shortage of length, or we don't have any excess length. Nothing like that. Triangle should be just complete. Another point you have to notice, triangle is not the shape of the body. Triangle is formed when you show the direction and the magnitude of the forces. This triangle is called the force triangle. So like that, P, Q and S taken in order will keep the body in equilibrium. But because S is representing the same length as it is for R, so even by taking S, you can apply sine rule. So then what is sine rule? It is given that P and Q, angle between them is 90 degrees. And apart from that, the second and the third force is 120. So first and the second and the third, this angle is 120. We know that in space the total angle is 360, out of that 90 has gone, so 270 remains, 120 also is gone. So what will remain is just 150. Okay. It's a nice theory, it's a good concept. Solving the problem will take you a few minutes, but see how much more information we learn here. So this problem, better you practice it again and again. Okay, so then, see the other information, that Q and S. If you take this point, Q is approaching the point, S is out of the point, coming away from the point. Whereas, how is Q and S here? Q is outwards, S is also outwards. When both the angles are outwards, then it is 120 degrees. But here, you can see that if this is the point, Q is inwards and S is outwards. Either both should be outwards or both should be inwards. Then angle you can take it as 120. So, whatever be the length for S, take it, maintain the direction, you can place it anywhere. So now Q and S both are approaching towards the point, or both should be moving out of the point. They are all one and the same, both approaching or both moving out. So then the angle is 120. This angle is therefore 120. Whereas in the triangle, Q is approaching the point, and whereas you can see in the case of the triangle that Q is approaching the point and S is moving away from the point. See, for 120 degrees, both should approach the point or both should move away. But here one is approaching and the other one is, yes, moving away. So, in that case, what you need to do is, Q is approaching the point, other force is moving away, so we need to find what is this angle. Total angle is 180, out of which 120 gone, means remaining is 60. So either take 180 minus 20 here or else just show 60. So this is 60 degrees. Total angle is 180, 90, 60. So the third angle will be 30 degrees. Apply sine rule now. I'll repeat it, that you have got three forces. Body is in equilibrium. Equilibrium means what will be the direction of the third force is what we have to find out, and for that I had already explained that we will first consider a single force of 5 newtons, and if that is acting on a body and body we want to keep it at the same point itself, then we have to bring in opposing force to what is already there. So equal also, so equal force exactly in the opposite direction, they will balance, so body will not move. So if there is a single force, then exactly opposite of that we will have to bring the other force for rest condition, equilibrium conditions. Then what we have seen is for P and Q, R is a resultant. Meaning is that you can remove P and Q, bring R, because all will produce same effect. So a single force only will remain now when you bring R and remove P and Q. For the single force, for equilibrium also of the body, you have to apply a force equal to this. You also have to apply it in the opposite direction. So this third force is equal to R. Now, in this manner, we can show three forces which are keeping the body in equilibrium. How we can say it is that equivalent of P and Q, whatever it is, exactly opposite of that, when you show the third force, body will be in equilibrium. And another explanation is that when you take the two forces in order, then the third force, if that is also in order and the triangle is just completed, nothing less, nothing more also. It should be just a complete diagram. And all the three forces are in order, the body will be in equilibrium. Okay. So, you have got the idea? Because R, same length, is replaced by S, so still the sine rule holds good, and see what we have now, P by the sine of the opposite angle. This we have studied and is called the triangle law. Another name for this is Lami's theorem. So P by sine 30 will be equal to Q by P by sine 16, sorry. So P by sine 60. Okay. So by applying sine rule to the triangle that we have, the forces, we get P by sine of the opposite angle, sine 60, will equal to Q by the sine of the opposite angle for Q, which is sine 30. Then the third force, S by sine of the opposite angle, so that will be sine 90. And we know, of course, that sine 90 is equal to 1. Therefore, P is equal to Q into sine 60 by sine 30 is equal to S. Sine 60 is taken everywhere, so you get S sine 60 for the last term. So you will get P is equal to sine 60 is root 3 by 2 and sine 30 is 1 by 2 is equal to S into sine 60. Okay. And Q is also there. So we now get P is equal to root 3 Q is equal to sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Yes. Now it is very easy to find out the ratios. So when it comes to only the problem, it will hardly take 1 minute. But to solve the problem in that less time, to understand the concepts. One force to bring equilibrium, equal and opposite forces. And how about the direction of all the forces shown? For P and Q, the resultant will be in between because both are acting outwards, and opposite of this single force only, when P and Q is removed, bring R, so then that single force opposite of that will give us equilibrium, these two, equal and opposite. So now bring the two forces back, remove R. So these three forces will keep the body in equilibrium. When you show it in the form of a triangle, forces shown by the triangle, then when exactly you have got a complete triangle, nothing less, nothing more also, then equilibrium will be there. The proof is this one. By applying Lambda, how we get these angles, all that has been already explained. So show the angle in that manner, and afterwards applying the sine rule, which I say it again is also called Lami's theorem. The final result is this. So what you will therefore find is that the ratio for P, Q and S will be 1 is to, say, Q multiply root 3, it is equal to P. It means that you have to find out how many times Q is more or less than P. Multiply root 3. So the ratio will be therefore 1 by root 3. This also reverse, you will get the ratio for the third, which will be equal to 2 by root 3.